The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Chase Spurlock. Chase is the co-founder and CEO at Decode Health. Chase, welcome to the show.
Glad to join you, JP. Thanks for having me.
So Chase, let's start with yourself, please, as we do with all of our guests. Could you give us an overview of your background in technology and your journey from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, and what's taken you to where you are today as the co-founder and CEO at Decode Health?
Absolutely. So I'm actually a native of Tennessee in the greater Nashville area. Nashville is often recognized as the Silicon Valley for healthcare. My background is that I'm an immunologist by training with a heavy focus on computational biology. Never really thought of myself as a card-carrying data scientist, but have implemented a lot of approaches and tools over the years to find clinically useful patterns in data. I've held a variety of posts at Vanderbilt's medical school and on the faculty, and as well as at NYU's School of Public Health. At NYU, I actually developed and currently lead a course for healthcare execs that's focused on advanced data techniques. It's really a do's and don'ts course. It's for organizations looking to mature their data practice. I'm also, as part of my service on the Vanderbilt faculty, hosting at any given time between 4 and 6 graduate students and postdocs at our company, Decode Health. I have a long history of continuous National Institutes of Health funding, both inside and outside of academia, and have also been able to forge relationships with pharmaceutical companies focused on biomarker discovery and identifying new opportunities for therapeutic intervention. Over the past 10, 12 years, I've been engaged in the Nashville entrepreneurial world and have formed 2 companies. Decode Health is the latest. And it's really here that where we're trying to blend together 3 big concepts. It's an understanding of clinical need across a variety of chronic and acute conditions. It's a deep understanding of data, ranging from genomics to clinical data to social determinants of health, and then trying to use advanced best-in-class approaches like machine learning to help us predict and understand these outcomes. So it's been a long journey, but we've amassed a great deal of expertise that has allowed us to get to where we are today.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the background. Really good context and sets the stage for Decode Health. So you've already given the intro into who you are as a business, but talk to us a bit more about broader mission. What problem are you trying to solve, and what are you doing when we say the customer base? Is it like scientists, companies, as pharmaceutical organizations? Talk to us about the mission at Decode Health and how it's playing out day to day.
Well, in terms of the problem, what we see is that advancing precision medicine and clinical decision support initiatives is a $40 billion market opportunity in the US. These initiatives are also difficult, requiring multiple connected data sources that range in complexity, that genomics, clinical data, SDoH thing that I was talking about. These initiatives also require a great deal of analytics, maturity, and expertise. And for a lot of teams, it's hard to know where to start. It's also very hard for less experienced teams to know how to anticipate these quicksand moments or the occasional ditch. Unfortunately, 70% of initiatives fail, and it often takes more than 4 years to start producing a measurable ROI. Advancing precision medicine also takes, in our opinion, multi-industry collaboration. So in lieu of operating in a silo, company ecosystems really need to be forged to advance new initiatives quickly without having to reinvent the wheel or build something that exists at another organization, and you can leverage it through partnership. So the way we see Decode Health today and the way we position Decode Health in the market is that we've built this proprietary tech platform. We've accumulated a lot of data know-how that spans these different data buckets. And what we enable big companies to do is to deliver precision medicine. Our customers often don't know where to start, so they partner with us to bring data and technologies to market. A lot of our projects right now are focused on biomarker discovery efforts alongside big pharmaceutical companies and diagnostic organizations, groups like Quest Diagnostics and Becton Dickinson. We're bringing entirely new molecular data to market, and we're building better testing. We're also engaged in clinical decision support tool creation to predict and understand patient outcomes across a variety of these chronic and acute disease buckets that I was mentioning. We've got a lot of experience in complex diseases like autoimmune diseases, conditions like multiple sclerosis, inflammatory bowel disease, and others. But we've also extended into oncology along this journey as well. And it's all about advancing precision medicine and bringing people together in order to achieve that goal.
And of course, as you mentioned in your introduction, when describing Decode Health, you're utilizing and leaning heavily on aspects of AI, whether it be advanced machine learning or data analytics for automation and analysis. Could you help us visualize behind the scenes what it's like to be part of the data and technology team at Decode Health, from backgrounds of the individual, the overall size of the organization, and what a project life cycle looks like, from the unique challenges and how you and your team go about working on it day to day?
Yeah, I would say operationally at our core is our process. So as data comes in, we initiate a discovery process. We define the problem, what it means to be successful. Then we develop a solution ranging from something that's simple to something that might be more complex depending upon the need. And then we're going to reveal or illuminate some sort of insight or outcome, whether it's a high risk patient, spotlighting a certain clinical or SDoH risk factor, or even identifying a unique set of molecular biomarkers. And then we're going to repeat that process for a new problem. We'd like to go deep with our partners, and these efforts lead to commercial products and services. What I would say is that we're all engaged in this process, and our team is a group of people where science is meeting data science. So you've got biologists, molecular biologists, immunologists, as well as data engineers, data scientists that are coming together to solve problems. And we're looking at it from a clinical point of view. We're looking at it from a biological point of view, but then we're also crafting the data science so that we can apply best in class approaches. And what we've accumulated over time is a playbook of different patterns to approach these different problems. And that allows us to quickly get to a solution and to understand what it takes from a math perspective to be able to target a particular outcome or predict an outcome and understand it. So a diverse skill set is coming to bear in these engagements as we arrive at a solution. And the platform that we've built is the accumulation of over a decade's worth of expertise. As that playbook has gotten richer, we can then simultaneously kick off multiple approaches to be able to arrive at a solution as fast as possible. And it's that speed to value, that acceleration of results that I think our customers find really beneficial.
You just touched on it there, the value to your customers. And Decode recently came into its fourth year, just over 4 years of business now. When you look back at the journey from when you first launched the organization, and you look back at some of the customer journeys and the success that you had, are there any examples that you could share with us? I appreciate some you might not be able to fully disclose all the information, but are there any examples that stand out to you that really speak to just how successful Decode has been for your customers that you're particularly proud of?
For a lot of our engagements, we are bringing capabilities that might not be available within an organization as it exists today. So to be able to build bridges to see how these more advanced artificial intelligence, machine learning approaches how they can be applied in an organization to actually propel an initiative forward, and to do that in a way that is efficient and cost effective and relatively fast. And then to see that other team light up and start to think about these what if scenarios, what might be possible. That's a pretty cool gift for a small company to give to a much larger company. And I would say that we have had terrific collaboration with groups like Quest Diagnostics, where we're spinning up entirely new initiatives within the walls of this organization. And our team is partnering peer to peer with members of the Quest team to think about what's next and how we're going to spin up an entirely new discovery process, a new era of innovation within the walls of an organization that has been standing for many years. And so I think it's watching those light bulb moments go off that is probably one of the coolest parts about this journey, and to see how together through collaboration we can accelerate some of these discovery initiatives.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
So staying on the topic then of the discovery initiatives, you talked about looking at new avenues with your customers, given they're now realizing what Decode Health can do for them to accelerate research. When you look at the project roadmap, particularly the next 2 to 3 years, what are some of the things that you're most excited about for Decode Health, its journey and potential growth?
One of the things that, we bake into our model and our approach is that as we create new products and services, it's our goal to commercialize those, and the market opportunities for some of these products and services can be in the millions, if not billions of dollars. And so what we're working on today can have very long-term revenue implications for the ecosystem partners. And it's that building of the ecosystem that I'm really excited about over the next year or two in particular, because what we're seeing is groups trying to work together with third-party organizations to accelerate innovation, to accelerate discovery, because they recognize they can't do it on their own. And groups like diagnostics and pharma, I see them coming together more and more every day. Taking a drug to market is a more than $1 billion exercise, and you need to create efficiencies in that process and de-risk those clinical trials. And one way we're doing that is through better biomarkers and better testing to better understand the phenotype of the patient that is ultimately included in that trial. There are obvious opportunities for groups to come together to better understand disease and disease outcomes so that we can then build better trials and hopefully better drugs in the future.
Chase, you were talking about the platform, and we were talking off air about the amazing team that you've been able to assemble at Decode Health. How have you built such a strong team, such a passionate team, and why are they so essential and critical to your success at Decode?
Having been a part of the Nashville entrepreneurial world now for over a decade, I've met a lot of great people, including my co-founder, Julia Polk, and others. And what's been really fun for us is that a lot of people who are now part of Decode have been a part of this journey even before Decode was started. We have mentors and advisors as well as team members that have known us and have supported us as we took this next step to launch Decode. And I think that's one of the hallmarks of the Nashville ecosystem that has really seen a dramatic acceleration over the past few years. We have remarkable people who are industry veterans in healthcare as well as data. And they're all coming together to think about how they can foster the next generation of entrepreneurs and how they can give back. And I think that our team is even paying it forward. We are heavily involved with the Nashville Entrepreneurs Center, in particular, their Project Healthcare. In fact, one of our executive advisors and close friends, Eric Drokel, is the chairman of Project Healthcare at the Nashville Entrepreneur Center. So we are the beneficiaries of a great culture here in Nashville. And as people have moved to Nashville during the pandemic, I think we're only seeing an acceleration of the skill sets and the talent that is just pouring into the community and so enriching the businesses that are here in our backyard. So it's a very great time to be an entrepreneur in Nashville. And I would encourage other people to give Nashville a look, because what we're doing here, I think, is very special. And I would also say that we're going to be at the Thrive event here at the end of March. We're going to be part of the Nashville Innovation Hub. So that there are others that are listening in who are going to be at Vive in Nashville in late March. We would love to meet them in person.
Has the investment into advanced technology to accelerate drug discovery continues to grow, which we've already seen the projections that it's only going to go in one way? That's obviously going to create an increased demand for companies like Decode Health to step in and help these larger organizations advance their own research. When you look at the roadmap for Decode Health from a growth and personnel perspective, speaking to an audience of data professionals, many of whom are already in the life sciences field, what opportunities do you see for people to join Decode Health and continue on this mission with you? Where do you see continued hiring? What sort of positions do you anticipate needing to add to the team? And final part of that is when you're speaking to candidates about Decode Health, what is it that you tell them that gets them excited enough to join you guys over some of the other great companies hiring?
I would say that every engagement we take on, it's an opportunity to go deep and to continue pushing boundaries. As one person in our world says, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So as we probe one disease, could be multiple sclerosis, that can lead to other neurologic disease investigations. So there's always something new. There's always a puzzle to solve. And we are a very data first organization in the sense that we let the data carve out our journey and take us down the path. We try to let the data be our guide. And so we look to find smart people who are interested in asking questions and doing a little bit, getting results, doing a little bit more, because one of our principal engagements is innovation projects where we are literally working without a rule book in areas where new technologies and new solutions are needed to better detect disease, spotlight misdiagnosis, to monitor diseases more effectively, and then ultimately inform therapeutics in the future. This isn't a cookie cutter exercise and it's not for the faint of heart, but if people can come together to look at the data objectively and chart next steps, it really leads to an opportunity to reshape the face of healthcare and to work with some of the largest players in the United States that are Decode's partners. And so I think it's that opportunity to move the needle in healthcare that really lights people up. And when they appreciate the thoughtfulness of how we built our platform, we try to have any person that's coming into our organization come in having a pretty good idea of how we're approaching problem solving and the data science side of this, so there are no surprises. And I think when they look at what we've built, they appreciate the thoughtfulness and they appreciate the speed with which we can deliver a result and then iterate on that result to try to shape something that is meaningful for our client, but is also explainable to a third-party audience, whether it be a clinician, whether it be a pharma exec. The audience is top of mind as well. And so I think it's just that enthusiasm to create, that enthusiasm to discover, that really gets people going and makes them want to be a part of our world.
Chase, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. It was a pleasure to learn about your own background, the long history that you have in working in this space and how it's led to the launch of Decode Health. Obviously 4 years in business as an organization, but there's years and years behind that in this field. The investment that you're making in technology is incredible. And obviously a lot of opportunity will come with that for people working in data and machine learning, computational sciences to come and help you on this journey. So we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on the show and we look forward to having you back on in the future.
Thank you, JP.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.